Good morning. Happy Sunday. Here I am in all my glory. It's all good because, if anything, I recommend everyone showing up as your true self, no matter what you're doing, where you're going, or who you're with. So it's very important because if you're not being yourself. You're diluting yourself down. What I wanted to share was, first of all, the diffuser blend that I got going this morning. So we've got green mandarin, which is pure potential. We've got red mandarin, which is childlike perspective. We've got Douglas fir, which has fallen out of my mind, generational wisdom. And then we've got balsam fir, which is a newer one. And it has like a majestic aroma, is the way it was described. So being a fir, it's a tree. Oh, just unbelievably grounding. Same with the Douglas fir. So as a reminder, the tree oils we don't ingest. The Douglas fir seems like it's not going to totally make sense unless you smell it, but to me it's almost like a brighter smell than the balsam fir, which is kind of a subtle fir smell. Green mandarin and red mandarin. Oh, they're delicious. It's so good. So these you can 100% ingest if they're doTERRA. They just smell delicious. Like, just, I could put it on and I could eat it. It smells so freaking good. And same with red mandarin, which I'm pretty sure red mandarin is still a special one that you have to get just during promos. So I use this sparingly, big time. So what I wanted to share on this Sunday is I'm super stoked because I finished my first BODi program, getting back in from 2021. If you'll remember, 2020, ooh, look at the definition and the arm showing up. The end of 2020 and all of 2021 was a fucking whirlwind for our family, and especially for my nervous system. So I am still consciously working at calming my nervous system. One thing that has been very important in that is I've actually had my phone on silent. Not so much silent, I guess. It's been on vibrate for a very long time. It has been a major trigger for me. Sadly, we've had some sudden losses in our family and our business. Thankfully, I can probably count on one hand, but it has been those moments of getting a phone call where it's like massively emotionally charged. One of those was, unfortunately, I got the phone call when we found out our coworker, had been killed in a very, very tragic accident. And why I mention this is because in 2020, when my husband fell, again, I found out because of a phone call. So my nervous system was on high alert, especially because he was then taken to a hospital in the city to have surgery. And with all the rules that were happening at that time, his wife and kids were not allowed to see him. So I actually sat for over 4 hours in our local hospital, crying my eyes out in the hall because they would not let me see him. So there has been some massive healing over the past 2.5 years that I know has had to happen, and that I know I wouldn't be where I am today if it didn't. So I am stoked to get back into BODi. I stopped in the spring of 2021 because that's when he had a medical misdiagnosis by a medical professional, and I was pissed off and I was frustrated and I hurt myself multiple times, unfortunately, just because I wasn't getting that out and I was holding the tension inside of my body. And what happens when we do that is we get hurt in some form. And I really don't think I knew what was exactly happening in that moment. I had been trying different sports bras, and if you know me, you know I'm heavy chested. And then it hit me. It was the emotions that were trapped within. I literally felt like I had zero control, none whatsoever. And they got trapped within here. And it's interesting here and in my lower back. And what's interesting is as I started the program, I was very conscious of that. And I was very aware of gently pushing myself, but also not pushing myself to the point of where I was before. I did not want to get hurt. I did not want to go too far. I progressed as I should. And looking at the numbers today, so I did not do my measurements until Family Day, February 20th, because it's something I did not want to necessarily focus on. I was getting back into the BODi programs for me. I already had my basis of my oils, which I use every day for my physical and emotional health, but I was missing that movement and I was missing the strength that I need within my body. And where I was feeling it was I was feeling it right across here. And so I was working with our massage therapist. And so some of my appointments, actually 2 full appointments, were literally her just releasing everything from here. And although I did not get my relaxing massage, holy shit, it felt so much better. So since realizing this is where I seem to hold everything here and in my lower back, getting started back again with BODi was important to me. It was important for the connection as well. I've joined an awesome group of ladies and I just feel at home. There's no competition whatsoever. It is just incredibly supportive and it's exactly where I feel I need to be. So today I celebrate, and I'm not celebrating weight loss. My weight has honestly stayed consistent since I think it must have been later 2021. It was later 2021 when I had a goal, weight to hit. I'll say the number. I really don't care. It was 165 pounds. I have not been here for a long time. I don't even think before I had my kids I was here, which the weight is not my main focus at all. And I think that's why when I began the program, I did not, so I began it February 6th. I did pictures part way through that week. I didn't do the measurements, as I said, until February 20th. It was just getting myself going. Granted, seeing the shifts, so I don't use my weight as the one indicator. That's not, it's great, but our weight fluctuates. And it's not healthy, in my opinion, to base our health or our progress solely on our weight. Because if I can weigh myself now, when I didn't weigh myself first thing this morning before working out, it would have been totally different. If I weigh myself at the end of the day, it's going to be totally different as well. So don't use your weight as your one sole indicator of how you're doing. For me, my one sole indicator is how the fuck do you feel, Pam? How do you feel? This is one reason I did not work out yesterday. I had a later night. I don't even know. Thursday night, was it? Anyway, haven't got a lot of sleep over the past couple weeks. And that's okay. That's life. Some things are not okay, but we can't change everything, right? We can't, anything that's not within our control, we need to somehow release and just let that go. So what I'm celebrating is the fact that I showed up and finished this program. Yes, I move my body with the program every single day? No. I shifted my rest days. But yesterday, the program should have finished. I did 2 workouts this morning and it's done. So tomorrow I get to start in the new BODi blocks. I'm going to do the all BODi. I'm so excited because these blocks were made for me. That's exactly what I'm hearing. These blocks were made for me because I'm not a big cardio person whatsoever. Let's flow back to like anyone with massive boobs. Cardio is just not super comfortable. That's fine. I've never been a cardio person. What I love about these workouts is they move and shift everything. So whether if you want to be more intense with cardio, be more intense with cardio. I don't. I don't at all. So I don't at all. So moving forward, I celebrate the fact that I lost 6 inches. Now, when I say 6 inches, so what I'm taking into consideration is when I started doing measurements was back in November 2016. So that was after, obviously, I've been weighing myself for a lot longer. So at my highest weight and to now, so technically now, I guess with my weight this morning, I've lost 76 pounds in total. I don't hold that number as gospel because, like I said, it shifts and it changes. What doesn't necessarily shift and change is the inches. I mean, it will if, you know, you're feeling bloated and that, sure. But 6 inches. 6 inches. So that's including from my waist, my thighs, my calf, my arms, my bust, my ribs, my hips. In 15 days, so not much shifted with my waist, my hips, my thighs. Yes, I did lose inches in my calf, both calves, my arms, my bust, and my ribs. So when I say my ribs, I mean like right under here, and then bust is straight across here. So I lost, and that is so cool. And really and truly, what losing means to me is everything's just tightening up. And I feel more at home in my body. I feel more like me, which feels awesome. I feel stronger. My arms feel so much stronger, and I can't wait to get even more stronger. So this is my celebration today. And this is one thing I really love about my journal. If you need a journal or if you want a journal, definitely check it out because, and I'll put a link, obviously there'll be a link below if you would like to get one. I have a spot at the bottom. So if you're an oil lover like me, there's a spot for the bedtime diffuser blend. I make notes at the top of when I get the diffuser started in the morning, just because I like to look back and see what oils that I used and how I felt that day. And they're all intuitively selected, all. So I walk up to my wall rack, I pick my oils, and then I start my day. So I keep track in my journal, and that's exactly where, so at the end of March, I have a begin month and an end month page. So this is the end month page. So if you see here, there's a spot there for measurements. There's a spot for movement. There's a spot for weight. And like I said, it's not a big spot because it's not something that I feel we should focus hugely on. I feel we should be focusing on how we feel. The numbers are awesome. It's data. It's data to look at and go back and just see, okay, so this is what I was at the beginning of the month. This is what I am now. Obviously, if we're building muscle in our arms and our legs and our butts, there's going to be a decrease, but there's also going to be an increase. And so that's where I don't get super, super attached to the weight and to the numbers. It's all on how I feel. Same with when I use my oils for physical, emotional uses. I base it on 100% how I feel. I feel that is so important. And that is how we can catalyst ourselves into the next level, into the next person that we are, our next chapter in our life. So I wanted to, so if you're interested in this, check out the link that I will put below. There's also a link that I will put below if you would like to get some oils or if you have any questions about them. I am going to, since it's Sunday, I'm going to smudge the cards and let's just see what jumps out for the week ahead. Smudging is a great way to just kind of neutralize the energy of everything. I smudge my cards, I smudge my room, I smudge my house. Okay, so what do we need to know for the week ahead? There you go. They just jumped out. And so again, these are the Rose Oracle card decks. I actually, if you're local to me, I got these in town at Art Arrows, which is awesome. Okay, so we've got 4 cards that jumped out. So this is the first one. The Holy Grail. Oh. Stop the endless searching. Inner quest. It is so true. In March, it is so important for all of us to go within. Don't think about what everyone else is doing. Think about what you need, what your soul needs, and go within. My light just turned off. Here we go. Get it back on here. And not. All right. Okay. So that's all right. The next one, Brothers of the Rose. That's a pretty one too. Sacred Masculine, honor, protection, and support. It's interesting. Oh, these have come up. These came up last week. The Thorn. So this goes, wow, they all go together so freaking good. The Thorn, protection, boundaries, and clear communication. So that could even be with yourself. That could be with loved ones. That could be with friendships, any relationships, really and truly. If you're not communicating from your heart and soul, you're lying to yourself. Release the petals. Another beautiful card. Transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, all change. So there's a lot shifting in March. There's some big energies, but we keep being pulled back to our heart, our soul, our truth, not anyone else's. It does not matter what anyone else is doing. What matters is what we are doing, how we feel in our body, in our soul. And it's when we get out of alignment that sometimes we can just, the universe and spirit's like, wait a second, you got to get redirected here, redirected. And unfortunately, sometimes that means going through some shit. It'll feel sticky. It'll feel hard. It'll feel not fair. Sink down into you. That's what matters. We can't control the outside world. We can't control anyone else but ourselves. And the sooner we can sink into that realization, the better off we all will live and be. We will live in peace. It will be grace. It will be ease. It will just be transformation in the most beautiful way. So today I celebrate and I look forward to the week ahead. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. All we have is this now moment. So here we are and ready to forge forward. Have a beautiful Sunday. Celebrate wherever you are in your life. Even if it feels like the littlest thing, the absolute littlest thing, it could be huge. It could be huge for you. So celebrate what you need to celebrate and really lean into you. Much love.